Hello and welcome to today's beading class. In today's class, we'll be doing another bracelet with a centerpiece made of crystals and pearls. If this is the first time you're watching us, I would suggest that you subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified anytime a new video is uploaded. Let's get on. So this is our project for today. With a flower as a centerpiece for the bracelet. To the materials needed for the project. So you would need some pearl beads of about 6 millimeters, and then you also need some bicon crystal beads of about 3 millimeters, and then some size 11 seed beads. You'd also need your toggle and a bar or your closure, and then you'd need some jam ring as well, and then your needle and your thread. I'm using the fishing line, the 0.25 fishing line. So you're going to need 7 pearl beads, 6 bicon crystal beads, and then some seed beads. So you string your needle on your thread, 60 inches thread. So I'm going to get 6 of my pearl beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll make a knot. Then we get our needle and go through the whole 6 again, just to make sure that it's firm. Okay, from here I'm going to pick 3 seed beads, 1 crystal bead, 3 seed beads, 1 crystal bead, 3 seed beads. I'm going to bring it back into this bead. So the thread had come out of this bead, and I'm going to send it back into it. Like that. After we've done that, we move on to the next pearl bead. Move on to the next pearl bead. Then we pick on 3 seed beads, 1 crystal, and then 1 seed bead. So it's 1 crystal, 1 seed bead. Okay, and then we are sending it back into this pearl bead again, but we are going to pick it up from here. You get it? You can see. And then before it goes into the pearl bead, and then we draw our thread. So we've done the next one. Now we are going to send it into our third bead. Okay, we pick on 3 seed beads, as you can see, 1 crystal and 1 seed bead, as you can see. Now I'm going to send it these 2 beads here. Okay, I'm sending it into these 2 beads before it goes back into the pearl bead the thread had just come out of, and then I pull it. So we have it like this. So I'm going to carry on with these 2, the same as these 2, but when we get to the last bead, it's going to be finished off differently. So then we come back to it. So now we've gotten to the last pearl bead. I'm going to send my needle through it, and then I'm going to pick on 2 of these beads. So my needle goes into 2 seed beads. Then I'll pick 1 seed bead. I'll pick on 1 seed bead, then my crystal bead, then another seed bead. So 1, 1, 1. I'm going to send it into 2 of the beads on this end, and then I pull it like that. Now my thread is going to go back into the last bead again, and then I'll bring it up here. Okay, so I'm going to bring it here because I'm trying to bring it onto this side. Okay, so my thread comes out of here. It's going to go through this bead and this crystal. Now at this point, I'm going to be fixing just a seed bead in between the crystals to pull them together. So watch me do that. So I'll just pick on just one seed bead. Then I go through this crystal. Then I pull it. Pick on another seed bead. Go through the crystal. We are just connecting the crystals at the top with seed beads. Okay, get another seed bead, go through the crystal at the top, then I pull it. Get another seed bead, go through the crystal at the top, then I pull it. So I'm going to continue in that manner until I've connected all the crystals seated at the top with a seed bead. Now I'm left to connect these 2 crystals at the top. So I'm going to connect that with a seed bead, just one seed bead, and then I'll go through it. So I've connected all the crystals at the top. You can see it. And now I'm going to have to send my thread down to the bottom here. Okay, so my thread comes from the last crystal. It goes through the seed beads on this side. Okay, and then I pull it. Okay, now my thread is at the bottom here. I'm going to take it through the next big pearl bead by 8. So you turn your work upside down and put your needle through this pearl bead. Now I want us to center another pearl bead. I want us to put this pearl bead in the middle, and what you're going to do is just pick on the pearl bead. So I pick on it. I'm going to go through the opposite pearl bead, the bead opposite to this one. So my thread had just come out of this. Now I'm going to send my needle through the pearl bead opposite it, like that. Okay, and it's there. Now to finish centering it, I'm going to send my thread back again into that pearl bead. Okay, that pearl bead, and then back into the opposite pearl bead. So we've centered it. So I'm going to have to bring my thread all the way through these beads up here back to this end. So watch me do that. I'm going to go through all the beads here, into this, and then back into the crystal. Then back into the beads on the side, like that. Okay, so when you come out of here, my thread is out of here. Now I'm going to string on 9 beads. Okay, so I have my 9 beads strung on. Now I'm coming to send my needle here, all the way into this. all the way into the crystal. Then into my beads on the side here. Okay. Then I'll string on again 9 seed beads. Now sometimes the seed beads may be smaller, so you may not have to do 9, you may have to do 10 or 11 or 12 depending on your seed beads. But the main thing you have to note is that your bead should be able to go around it like this. You shouldn't have any space in there. So if you string on 9 and you still see that it's not actually capping it round beautifully like this, you can always make it 10 or whatever number will be able to cap your pearl bead as beautiful as this is. So I've strung on my 9 seed beads. Now I'm going to put my needle through here like that. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. From here, I'm going to send my needle through as you can see. I'm sending my needle forward into the beads on the side here, into the beads on the side like that. String on 9 seed beads again. I'm going to bring it into these beads here, the 3 beads on the side. Okay, send it into the crystal. So it goes through the crystal and 3 beads on the side. Okay, and 3 beads on the side. So I've strung on 9. I'm going through 2. So I have to go through all these beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, the crystal, 5, 6, 7. Okay, before we string on the next one. So now I'm going to go through now because I've strung my 9 beads already. So here. Okay, now my thread is out of here. I'm going to send it all the way back here. Okay, we want to do a strap now. So I'm sending my needle and my thread all the way down. So my thread has come out of my 5th bead. If you count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where my thread has come out of. Okay, I'm going to pick on another bead, just 1 seed bead, and go back into that same bead. I'll pull it and then go back into that single bead again. So I'll string on 2 seed beads and bring it back into my single bead. We are doing a herringbone stitch, so you stitch on you pick on 2 seed beads and bring it back into your 1 bead. Then I'll go back into this bead again. I'll go back into the bead on the side here again. If you remember the herringbone stitch from last week's project, is the same. If you remember the herringbone stitch from last week's project, is the same one we are doing today, but in a longer strap. String on my next 2 beads, send it through just 1 bead on the left hand side, pull it, then come through 2 beads on the right hand side, you pull it, then you pick on 2 extra beads, go through just 1 bead on the left hand side, then you come through 2 beads to the 2 top beads on the right hand. Okay, so you are going to carry on like that until you get the desired length. Okay, so I've done 34 units of herringbone stitch, and this is 2 1/4 inches long. The size of my wrist is 7.5 inches, so I don't know if your wrist is about that size, then you'll be doing that. So it means that you do this same length on the other side as well. Now let's finish this off now and then put our toggle there. So when you ended with your last herringbone stitch, you're going to pick on just 1 seed bead. You pick on just 1 seed bead, then you go through the bead on your right, okay, go through 1 bead on the left, and then back into the single bead on the top again. When you've done that, you're going to pick on 6 seed beads. Go through the 1 again. We are trying to finish off now, so you'll be making like a circle at the top here. I'm going to go through all these again. I'm going to go through all the 6 beads for reinforcement before we finish it off there. Okay, then back into my single bead. You can go through it again a 3rd time if that is what you want. It's entirely up to you, but for me I think the 2 is enough. So I'm going to try and finish it off here. I'm going to try and finish it off here. Okay, send my beading thread through a few beads like that. Then I'll cut my thread and then I'll bend it, and that's it. We have it there. So the next thing to do now is to get my jump ring opened up. I'm going to open my jump ring up now. Hopefully my jump ring is a good enough size to go through the bead and put my toggle onto one end and then the bead onto another end, and then try and close them up like that. I'm going to close it up. So we finished one end. We finished one end of our bracelet. Now I'm left to do the herringbone strap, stitch strap for this end as well. Then our bracelet will be done. Okay, so we are starting on the other end. So just look for your center bead. You know, the center pearl and then the center bead. Look for that one. Just pull it out. Don't pull it too long. Just leave a bit of it. Then pick on just one seed bead. Go through that same bead again. then come through it again. Let's do that a couple of times. Be sure that it's quite firm. Now for me, I'll just go ahead and then cut this working length off, but give it a bit of length, and then I'll bend it. I'm going to bend it into a bead. Okay. When I've done that, I'm going to go back into this single bead again. Now I have it centered. Then I'll pick on 2 beads. So we've started our herringbone stitch. 2 beads. I'll go through this 1 bead. Like that. Go through the bead on the right. Get 2 beads. Go through 1 bead on the left. Bring it all the way around. Go through 2 beads on the right. Carry on in that manner until you finish off this side as well. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's beading class. That is it, the final finished work, and then it closes up over here. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give our video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and press on the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video is uploaded. Until we meet again in our next video, have a lovely day. Bye.